the number that sets you free. You are 41. You are sitting across from a man named Derek at a breakfast diner. Derek retired 8 months ago. Derek is 44. Derek has a dividend portfolio. Derek found the number. Derek should be free. Derek has not touched his eggs in 20 minutes. You say, how is it? Derek says, quiet. You say, that's good, right? Derek looks at his coffee. Derek says, I thought quiet was the destination. Turns out quiet is just what's left when you remove the noise. It doesn't tell you what to put in its place. You don't say anything. You just listen. You have been chasing the same number for 11 years. You have 3 more to go. And for the first time, you are not sure what you are chasing. Rewind. You are 30. It starts the way most things start. Not with a plan. With a number someone else said out loud. A podcast. Tuesday morning. Your commute. A man with a calm voice says, if you have $1,000 invested in dividend stocks, you can live off the income forever and never touch the principal. You almost miss your exit. That night you do the math on a napkin. Your portfolio is $34,000. You are $966,000 away from free. You write the number down. $1 million. You fold the napkin. You put it in your desk drawer. You tell no one. You are 31. His name is Marcus. You work with Marcus. Marcus is 38. Marcus talks about dividends the way some men talk about sports. Loudly. Often, with stats nobody asked for. Marcus says he is pulling 9% yield on his portfolio. Marcus says the income practically pays his rent. Marcus says most people don't know about the stocks he owns. You ask what stocks. Marcus names 3. You write them down. You look them up that night. The yields are real. 9, 11, even 13%. The numbers look like the answer to a question you've been carrying for a year. You buy 2 of them. Small positions, just to start. That night you sleep a little better. The number feels closer. The yield feels like a shortcut to the destination. You don't know it yet, but Marcus is holding a rope that looks like a ladder. You are 32. The first dividend hits, $47, deposited while you were at lunch on a Wednesday. You stare at the notification on your phone. $47 for doing nothing, just owning something while the world kept moving. You call your brother that night. Your brother is 29. His name is Tom. Tom has been investing since he was 26. Tom does not own any of the stocks Marcus recommended. Tom says, what's the yield on those? You say 9 and 11%. Tom is quiet for a second. Tom says, why do you think they're paying that much? You don't have an answer. Tom says, a company pays a high yield because the stock price dropped, or because they're paying out more than they earn, or both. The yield looks good until the dividend gets cut. Then you own a stock that dropped 40% and stopped paying. You say, but the income. Tom says, the income isn't free. You're borrowing it from the price. When they cut the dividend, the price falls and takes your principal with it. You sit with that. You don't sell the positions yet, but you stop sleeping quite as well. Marcus has $180,000 invested. Tom has $41,000. Marcus talks about his portfolio at every lunch. Tom has mentioned his exactly once to you on the phone. Because you asked. You don't know it yet, but Tom already understands the number. He just hasn't told you what it actually is. You are 34. One of the high-yield positions cuts its dividend. The stock drops 31% in a single morning. You wake up and the notification is already there before your alarm. You sit on the edge of the bed. The position is down $4,100. The dividend is gone. Marcus texts the group chat. He says it's a buying opportunity. He says the fundamentals are still strong. He says he's adding more. You don't add more. You sell. You take the loss. You sit at the kitchen table and do the math again. Your portfolio is $67,000. The napkin said 1 million. You are further from free than the morning you heard that podcast. Not because you didn't save, because you chased the wrong part of the number. You call Tom. Tom picks up on the second ring. You say, tell me what you actually do. Tom says, come over Saturday. Saturday. Tom's apartment is small. Tom drives a 2016 Civic. Tom has not upgraded his phone in 3 years. There is nothing in Tom's apartment that suggests a man who thinks about money more carefully than anyone you know. Tom opens his laptop. Tom shows you his portfolio. The yield is 2.4%. You say, that's it? Tom says, that's not the number I'm chasing. You say, then what is? Tom closes the laptop. Tom says, you told me you need $4,000 a month to live, so you need $48,000 a year from this. At a 4% safe withdrawal rate, that's $200,000. At 3.5%, that's $1,270,000. That is the number, not the yield, the total. You say, what's the 4% based on? Tom leans back. Tom says, researchers looked at 60 years of market data, every possible 30-year retirement window. They found that a diversified portfolio can pay out 4% a year and still grow enough that you don't run out of money. The market keeps growing. The 4% comes out, the rest compounds. You can take the 4% as dividends or sell shares. It doesn't matter which. The yield is just one road to the same destination. And some roads have cliffs. You say, what about Marcus? Tom says Marcus owns $180,000 that pays 9%. That's $16,200 a year in income. He talks about it like it's working. But if he needs $48,000 a year to live, the income doesn't set him free. It just feels like progress. He's chasing the yield instead of the total. They're not the same thing. You sit in his kitchen for a long time. Tom says, the number that sets you free isn't how much your portfolio pays. It's how much your portfolio is worth. When the total hits the right level, it doesn't matter what it yields. You take your 4% and you live. The rest keeps growing. You never touch the principal. You never go back to work. You drive home. You sit in the car for a few minutes before going inside. You take out a new piece of paper. You cross out the napkin number. You write $200,000. Same destination. Better road. You are 36. You rebuild the portfolio. Slowly. No more chasing yield. Low-cost index funds. Dividend growers, not dividend hunters. Boring names. Consistent compounders. Stocks that raise their dividend every year because the business keeps growing, not because they need to attract desperate buyers. Marcus asks what happened to your high-yield positions. You say you sold them. Marcus shakes his head. Marcus says, you sold right before the recovery. You say maybe. Marcus says, I'm at $210,000 now, pulling $19,000 a year in income. You say, that's great. Marcus looks at you the way people look at someone they have decided not to feel sorry for out loud. You are at $94,000. Your income is $2,256 a year. On paper, you are losing the comparison by every visible metric. Marcus has more money. Marcus has more income. Marcus has a number he can say at lunch that sounds like winning. You drive home in your same car. You make dinner. You open the drawer. The paper says $200,000. You are $1,106,000 away. You fold it, you put it back. Nobody is watching. That is starting to feel like the point. You are 38. Something shifts. Not in the market, in the math. Your contributions are the same, but the base is bigger now. The same percentage return produces more actual dollars. The number is not growing slowly anymore. It is growing the way a stone rolls downhill. Same force, more speed. $94,000 became $143,000 in 2 years without you changing a single thing. You open the drawer, you look at the paper, you are $1,057,000 away. For the first time in 8 years, the distance dropped below $1 million. You sit at the kitchen table and feel something quiet move through you. Not excitement, closer to recognition, like a road you have been walking finally started walking with you. Tom calls that night. Tom is at $310,000. Tom says, you feel that? You say, yeah. Tom says, the compounding kicks in around here. It stops feeling like discipline and starts feeling like gravity. You say nothing. You just sit with it. Marcus sends a message to the group chat that same week. His highest yield position cut its dividend again. He says he is repositioning. He says the new strategy is cleaner. He posts a screenshot of the new portfolio. The yield is still the headline number. The total is not mentioned. You don't respond. You are 41. The portfolio is $847,000. You are 3 years from the number if nothing changes. The math is no longer a guess. It is a schedule. You are at the diner with Derek. Derek retired 8 months ago at 44 with $1,240,000. Derek has a 3.8% withdrawal rate. Derek is taking $47,000 a year. Derek solved the problem exactly the way it is supposed to be solved. Derek has not touched his eggs in 20 minutes. You say, walk me through what it actually feels like. Derek says, the first month I just waited. I kept waking up at 6:15 like my body didn't get the message. I'd sit in the kitchen with coffee and wait for something to happen. Nothing happened. That was the point. But I didn't know what to do with the nothing. You say, did it get better? Derek says, it got quieter. I thought quiet was what I wanted. Turns out quiet is just what's left when you take the noise away. It doesn't fill itself. You say, what did you do? Derek says, I started asking a question I should have asked 10 years ago. What do I actually want the time for? I spent 14 years optimizing the number, the withdrawal rate, the yield, the tax structure, the sequence of returns risk. I knew every variable. What I didn't have was a clear answer to why I was solving for it. You say nothing. Derek says, the number sets you free from the job. It doesn't tell you what to do with the freedom. Those are two different problems. I only solved one of them. You drive home, you sit in the kitchen, you open the drawer, you look at $200,000 written on a piece of paper. You pick up a pen. Below the number, you write one word, why. You fold the paper, you put it back. You are 3 years from the number. For the first time, you have two things to build. You are 44. Tuesday, ordinary morning. You log into the account the way you have every Tuesday for 14 years. The number is $1,210,000. You sit in the chair. You do not move for a full minute. No notification arrives. Nobody texts. The phone does not ring. The market opens somewhere and keeps moving without you needing to be anywhere near it. You think about the commute at 30, and the voice on the podcast, the $47 Wednesday deposit that felt like the beginning of something. The morning the position dropped 31% before your alarm, Tom's kitchen on a Saturday with a laptop and a piece of paper, the diner with Derek and the eggs that went cold. You take out the paper, you look at the number, you look at the word below it. You already answered the second question. 3 years ago in that diner you started building the answer alongside the portfolio the same way, slowly, without telling anyone. You fold the paper, you do not put it back this time. You call Tom. Tom picks up on the second ring. You say, I hit it. Tom is quiet for a moment. Then he says, I know. I've been watching the number for 6 months waiting for you to call. You laugh. Tom laughs. You say, Derek said he solved the wrong problem. Tom says, Derek forgot to ask why before he asked how much. He optimized the vehicle and forgot to pick the destination. You sit in the quiet kitchen. The 4% is yours now. $48,000 a year, every year, without touching the principal, without punching in, without a Monday that looks like every Monday before it. The number was never the finish line. The number was always the door. What you build in the room on the other side, that part was always yours to figure out. And the ones who figure it out early, before the number, those are the ones who walk through the door and don't stop moving. You are somewhere right now. Maybe you have a napkin number and no road to it. Maybe you are Marcus, chasing the yield that feels like progress, building on ground that looks solid until it isn't. Maybe you are Derek, 3 months from the number with no answer to the second question. Maybe you are 30 on a Tuesday commute and someone just said something that almost made you miss your exit. Write the number down. Find the right road. Ask the second question early. The number that sets you free is not the yield. It's the total. And below the total, leave room for one more word. Drive safe.